So what is up guys, Nick here helping you to master your technology. In this episode I want to talk to you about the iPhone 14 models that I ordered. The point of this video is to kind of get your guys' take on what do you want to see coming forward, because I did actually order all of them. Man, the bank account definitely took a massive hit on this one, but at the same time I want to help you guys decide which model is going to be for you and compare them to basically the history of all the iPhones we've compared on the channel before. So let me begin with the first one here, and that's going to be the iPhone 14 Pro. Now I did go with the all new deep purple colorway. Had to get at least one of the purples. Not really a fan of purple myself, like to use as my main phone, but that's why I got it in a smaller one, because I'm not sure, but I think the Max, just like this 13 Pro Max, is going to be my favorite option. Usually the bigger phones have been lately. So deep purple. I did go with the 128 gig. I wish Apple would upgrade the base to 256 gig, especially on these Pros. I'm gonna be doing 4K video like you're seeing here on this one. I just want to see it get a little bit, back to 256 gig starting. Like that's where it should be. But you can see I'm going to get it on September 16th, so basically the first day that it launches. And let me show you the price point of that one, because it wasn't pretty. Let's go over here. $1,064. So you're going to pay $1,064 total. I mean, that's based on the tax where I'm at. It could be a little bit less or a little bit more depending on where you're at. Next one I'm pretty excited about, because this one kind of is replacing the iPhone 13 mini in the sense that Apple's going to be going in the direction of larger phones with the iPhone 14 Plus. Now this phone right here, I did get the product red, and I did get it in 128 gigabytes. Now keep in mind, this one doesn't arrive till October 7th, and I got a pickup of 9 a.m. to 9:15. Now, the iPhone 14 Plus is going to launch with a 6.7-inch screen, dual cameras, and you'll be able to get it in red. So if you wanted a larger iPhone in red, here is your chance. Although this one doesn't have dynamic island, it still does have the notch on board and stuff like that. Pretty excited to try this one out. I think it's going to be nice because it's a lot lighter than the iPhone 13 Pro Max, 14 Pro Max, and stuff like that. Did go again with the 128 gig, but of course, I'm not gonna go pay Apple another $200-300 just for a little bit more storage when I could just offload it onto an SSD or something like that. The iPhone 14 Pro Max. Now I was gonna get the iPhone 14 Pro Max in the deep purple colorway, but once I seen a couple of sample shots of the deep black, space black, I was thinking, okay, this is just another graphite, but no, this actually does have a different color, a little bit darker than the graphite, which I love, because if you take a look, the graphite is held up very well. I mean, there's really nothing to speak of over the year. I've had it in a case, but I don't really see any scratching or anything like that on this phone. It did pretty well, so I really actually like the graphite or the darker colorway, so I'm definitely going with the space black. You can see I'll be able to get that one on September 16th. So what is it, the 9th, right? I don't even got a watch on. Look, I'm checking the watch. Don't even got one on, but next week it's coming. So 14 Pro Max, that was the largest price point. By the way, I didn't show you the price point of the 14 Plus. Let me go ahead and show you that real quick. That's $987.06, so under $1,000. That's actually pretty good. If you consider the iPhone 10 used to be $1,000 just to start for that smaller screen, you're not getting a 6.7-inch Plus for $987. Now, I'm not actually paying $987 for it. I'm actually trading in a phone and getting it around $840. So you can actually trade a phone and get it a little bit cheaper. Now, the price point of the actual iPhone 14 Pro Max is actually coming in at a ridiculous $1,273.94. So, I mean, that is the heavy hitter right there, the iPhone 14 Pro Max when it comes to the cash. Now, yes, the Z Fold 4 does cost more, but that's like 3 phones in one. Still, if you start going up into storage, you're gonna pay well over $1,500 for that iPhone 14 Pro Max. And lastly, I did get what I think is the most boring iPhone of the announcement or the launch this year, and that's gonna be the iPhone 14 in blue. This is just your standard iPhone. It's gonna be $829, just like the iPhone 13. It still carries the A15 chip. The only reason I picked it up is so I can review it for you guys, because honestly, this phone is, to me, nearly identical to the iPhone 13. It looks the same. It has basically the same camera design, same notch, same size, same price, a couple different colors. You're kind of getting that blue, like the Sierra Blue light color this year though for the iPhone 14. That's pretty cool. If you really like that lighter baby blue look, you'll probably really like that. But that was $829, and that one I think arrives next week as well. So we just have to wait on the Pros next week, and the 14. The 14 Plus is next month. They're kind of pulling that iPhone XR like move where you have to wait till October. Now this was the price. The cheapest iPhone here was the iPhone 14, $888 or $880.81. Now I gotta say, when I say cheaper, I'm saying cheaper than the iPhone 14 Pro Max. Overall, none of these iPhones are cheap, and I've seen a lot of people commenting about how, oh, they keep making the same phone over and over again. Well, really, they're not making the same phone. They're keeping the same type of hardware, and they're adding a lot of things internally, like the A16, the 48 megapixel camera, dynamic island. So they're refining the phone, giving you a little bit more horsepower, a little bit more feature year after year. What they are doing the same, and I agree with you on this one, is they're kind of keeping these designs around. But Apple historically has done this for a very long time. They kept the iPhone 6 design around a while, the iPhone 5 design around a while, the iPhone 10 design around a while. Now they're keeping the squared edges. You think things are going to, history repeats itself? You think it's really going to change anytime soon? I don't know, but those are basically all the iPhones that I have ordered for the channel. So the deep purple iPhone 14 Pro, we do have the blue iPhone 14, the red Plus, and the space black 14 Pro Max. Now, which iPhone 14 did you go with? I'm curious to know if you picked any of them. And by the way, the pre-order process was crazy this morning. It went pretty fast, but at the same time, I checked and it didn't actually go through the first time. I had to go back and reorder these phones. The second time, it finally went through, and it didn't even go through in the pre-order setup. Like, they had a pre-order setup on the Apple Store app, but I had to go to the save devices, so I had 2 backup plans. Luckily I did, because I checked back 15 minutes later, and a lot of the Pro Max capacities, especially the 14 Pro Max, the capacities and configurations, a lot of them were already unavailable. It wasn't even a day to pick. You couldn't even buy it anymore. So this whole thing about, oh, they're gonna run out fast, it seems to be coming true here, but they'll come back with some more. You know, there's always going to be a new stock and stuff like that, but I really want to know what you guys are doing with your iPhones this year. Are you going to be upgrading or not? And really, what videos do you need to see, like which comparisons? Because that's what I love to do. I love to make comparisons between the newer iPhones and the older iPhones, speed test them, compare them, the cameras, you know, just the whole video, kind of help you guys decide which is going to be for you. So drop those down below. You got like a whole week to think about what you want to see. And I definitely read all the comments. I don't always get back to all of them, but I try to read all of them. So if you guys enjoyed the video, do me a favor, click the like button for me. Subscribe if you haven't already. Nick here. Be sure to be well, and peace.